Welcome to the Golden Yarn channel, where I'll be showing you how to make some fur, or in this case, a mane, on your crochet projects. Now these are all the items you'll need for making your fur, or in this case, a mane. A piece of card, or in this case, a lid, to wrap around the yarn to make the lengths of the yarn you need, and some scissors to cut the yarn to the lengths you need. A latch hook to attach it to the crocheting you're doing, which I recommend the latch hook because it's quite easy to use, or you can use the crochet hook, but it'll take some time. Also need a slick brush, or a pet brush in this case, and a board ideally to brush it on. Okay, to make this length of yarn you'll need to make the fur, first wrap the yarn a number amount of times around the card to make those lengths. Then all you do is simply cut the yarn to make the lengths you want in uniform lengths. I'd recommend making small batches of the colors you need and make more as you go. Now to attach the yarn to your crocheting, I'm going to show you how to use it with a latch hook, which has this little bit here that moves up and down. So first of all, you insert your latch hook through the stitch you want to latch onto, essentially. So push it through and push it through the other side. Now push all the way through till that little latch bit is on the other side of the stitch. Then get your yarn, fold it over in half till the two ends are about even. Once you're happy with that, take the center of that yarn and put it over the open end of the latch. Pull all the way through the stitch again so it closes and goes through. Now push the yarn all the way to the other side so it's on the other half of the yarn and fold over those two ends of the yarn through the open hook. So close over and pull through the center of that piece of yarn. And there you go, you've latched it onto your crocheting. Now continue this around where you need to carry that fur. Once you have latched on your yarn around the section you want, let's say one row at a time to make it easier to brush, you are now ready to brush out the yarn. So now that you've done a section of latching, now you're going to brush out the yarn. First of all, use your slick brush and on a board, press the yarn down and start from the very ends to slowly brush out the yarn. You want to start from the end so it doesn't rip off the yarn, but instead brush out the different curls in the yarn to make it back to its fuzzy form. Continue doing this until it goes right to the tip of the yarn and continue all the way around. And this is what it should look like once you've brushed it fully out. Make sure there's no yarn left at the bases, yarn pieces you've brushed out. Now continue doing this in sections and continue brushing out as you go. So I've repeated this for the rest of the mane for this tar, and as you can see it's very fluffy but a little bit unruly, but we need to trim it up next. Alright, so now we're going to trim this up to the shape we want. Now do not cut around like this. This will make it look very unnatural. Instead, do little cuts upwards. This gives it a jagged and more natural feel to the mane, and you have more control of the shape you want. Now only do this in small sections so you can really get a feel for what the shape looks like, and brush it out as you go to get rid of the remaining cut out pieces of yarn. Continue slowly around until you get the shape you want. So as you can see here, I've trimmed it to my final length and given it a little bit of a brush to make it go in the direction I wanted it to. But as you can see, this is nice and full and fluffy, and a great way to make your new crochet projects just that little bit more extra. Hope you enjoyed.